Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Bullony Basketball. Here with a very special guest today, the one and only Speakeasy Sports. How's it going, my man?
Oh man, thanks for having me back on. I'm glad I didn't embarrass myself too bad the first time.
Nah, it's good. I don't know if you guys remember, we did collab on an episode last year. We also did that video about your Pistons, and we're going to talk about your Pistons in a bit here. So just hold your horses. But nah, we could start off with the team that the Pistons are actually playing the night we're recording this, the Boston Celtics, who are currently on a
Yeah.
nine-game winning streak, looking to extend that hopefully to 10 tonight for them, and probably like you hope that as well, based on like where the Pistons are. But I guess focusing on the Celtics first, they destroyed Philly the other day, and I think people, were starting to make narratives about them, like, oh, they got to blow it up, they're frauds. So what have you thought about the Celtics over like the past, 2 to 3 weeks?
It's been crazy, man. I feel like they're like becoming what they're supposed to be. Like, remember a couple years back in the Eastern Conference Finals, I'll never forget it. It's kind of like an iconic moment for me, but it was when Jason Tatum dunked over LeBron, and like and they entered that series without Kyrie Irving. It was supposed to be like their star, and they just ended up being like better without him. Almost it was like these guys are actually about to like be something or do something, and they never really lived up to that expectation. But I mean, here they are this year. Then they didn't start out as pretty, but now they're almost like a 10-game win streak. I looked at some of the teams they played though. I feel like only two of them were like good teams. Even those teams are dealing with injuries, as is everyone. But like, seeing the Nuggets around there, I know they beat the Sixers. The Sixers been without like Ben Simmons, and obviously they have the trade situation too, where like Harden's not really going to play until. Do you know when actually when Harden's going to actually step on the court?
Uh, I think he's going to come back. I don't know if it's right after All-Star break, but they already picked Jared Allen to replace him in the All-Star game. So he's definitely not playing. I think they have one more game before the break, but he's not going to play in that one. I know that.
Yeah. Look, man, I just I'm kind of like I don't want to say I'm proud of them because that sounds weird. I'm not like father or coach or anything like that, but like I just feel good because like, I remember calling that. You know what I'm saying? Seeing that on the TV, the dunk. I'm like, yo, these guys are gonna be something special, and they never lived up to it. So I felt like I was like, I don't know. I like to think that I'm pretty good on my basketball takes, but they're making me look bad. But right now they're on fire, and they're about to take it to my Pistons to probably get a tenth. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, as much as you probably don't want to hear it, I would have to agree with you. They'll probably
Oh,
win again
man.
tonight, unless something miraculous happened. You never know what happens in the NBA. But Boston, they've won nine straight, and I was also kind of on that bandwagon early in the year where I was like, "What's going on with the Celtics?" I think I even had my one friend on the show. I think it was like episode 4, and he's a Celtics fan, and we're like, "What's going on with the team?" And like we could break down like so many things that were wrong with them. Now it's like I think they're bringing back a lot of what made them good in the past. Guys like Al Horford and Daniel Tice, they left and now they've been brought back as like leaders. They get a guy like Derek White off the bench, and I think it's just working out right now. Seems like Marcus Smart, like he's been playing with less of that like mindset in a way where it's like his ego might be inflated. I don't know if you saw like early in the year, like how he was kind of like he kind of made a subtle comment toward Tatum and Brown. It seems like that's all kind of resolved by now. And if they keep playing like this, like they're gonna be a legit team. It's just that most people thought, oh, it was just Tatum and Brown, and that's about it. Like the coaching was just whatever. The bench was mid, as people say. So it's like it just didn't seem like they had the right pieces around them. But looking at them right now, if they keep playing like this, they've been the best team in the NBA over the past, like over February, they have. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that, I mean, I wouldn't want to play the Celtics at this stage of time. Like maybe in April things level out because you also got teams
Yeah.
getting injured right now, like you mentioned, like the Nets and stuff, the Sixers.
Yeah.
So maybe once my Bulls are another one. So it's like once these teams start getting healthy, maybe the Celtics won't look quite as dominant. But at this point in time, they've looked pretty good, I must admit.
I think I was even watching something on ESPN the other day, actually preparing for your show, and luckily enough, they're talking about the Celtics. I think Richard Jefferson said they're averaging the second most passes, in the league right now. I think that's like, I mean, they're playing team ball, and that's that's a team like that. I feel like that's what made them successful. When they dropped Kyrie, they got rid of the ISO ball. Guys were sharing it. Like Tatum was able to shine. We saw Jaylen Brown shine. Like you're seeing that stuff now, and like it's maybe way too early to say, maybe a wild take, but like I guess if they were to win a championship, it really kind of reminds me of like those gritty Spurs teams. You know what I'm saying? Like as good as like Tim Duncan was, like they were a great like team. They played team ball, and Greg Popovich was able to get those guys to share the ball. That's why everyone shined. That's why Tony Parker to Ginobili, and obviously Tim Duncan doing his thing too. Like I mean, a team ball I think is how you win without like a one true like star like a Kevin Durant or LeBron or something like that.
Yeah, I think that is a good comparison, at least like with the last Spurs team, because like didn't really seem like there was a main guy on that squad. Early on, like Tim Duncan was just dominant. They had D-Rob and stuff. Ginobili, Parker, those guys were in their prime. But at this point, like the Celtics, as great as Tatum is, as great as Brown is, like neither of those guys are probably top 10 players in the NBA if you ask a lot of people. Maybe top 15 for Tatum or something like that. But I don't know. It would be pretty interesting though, because not a lot of people are investing in them this year. So it is good to see them on a hot streak. And yeah, I mean, if you want, we could
recalled. That's why.
But yeah, if you want, we can move on to talking about Tyreke Evans. And people at home are probably wondering, like, why Tyreke Evans? Like, I haven't heard this name in years. The NBA has basically reinstated him. And, a few years ago, I think it was 2019, he violated league policies with, like certain substances. And he's going to be cleared tomorrow at noon, or Friday at noon. So by the time this comes out, he'll be like the first day he's cleared. So I guess, what do you think about Tyreke Evans finally maybe having a chance back in the NBA, and do you think a team might pick him up?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he was drafted over Stephen Curry the year that he was taken. I think he's like around the same age, but I mean, I don't really like. It's cool that he came back, but I never really see him as like a premier player in the league. I know when he first came out on the scene, like I thought he was gonna be something special because as a rookie, he was doing some things that like just wasn't going on at that point in time. And I'm looking at his stats right now. Actually, I just pulled it up on Google. His last year, he had 69 games played, so he wasn't like too banged up with injuries or anything like that. Plus, he was on those substances, and he only was averaging 10 points. So it's like, I don't really know. Maybe he joins a contender and becomes like a key role off the bench or something like that. I mean, that's probably, if I were him, that's what I'd be looking for at this point in my career anyway. I get some rings and salvage my name a little bit, but I'm hoping, we probably see him land with like one of those contenders and hopefully helps win a championship.
I mean, I do think, averaging 10 points off the bench like your last year, I think that is pretty solid. I think his year before that with Memphis, one could argue might have even been better than his rookie year. Yeah. Maybe not as impressive because he didn't, jump out of the gates averaging like 25 and 5, but one could argue that season with Memphis was even better. And that was only like 4 years ago. So I think if he is staying in shape, he could help some teams. Now, it's probably going to be those teams that are pretty desperate, Lakers. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, though, if the Lakers did make a move toward getting him, especially since, they didn't make a move at the trade deadline. So they're probably going to be looking at the buyout market and these free agents, and I'm sure a lot of people don't have him on their radar. So especially, too, if, early in the year when people were putting protocols and a lot of the numbers went down, if that happens again, like, say, next month or something like that, then that's probably going to open up a spot for him to be on there. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they picked up Stanley Johnson end of December, or like about a month or two ago now. And now he's one of the main players in their rotation. So maybe a team like that, or just any desperate team, who knows, maybe the Sacramento Kings bring him back just like in his rookie year. So I feel like that would be kind of cool, but I don't know. Do you think there's any team in particular that might take a chance on him?
I think he's the name right there is the Lakers. They're desperate. They're cap strapped. I mean, he'd be one for them to look out for. I'm trying to think like who's contending right now and could like use him.
Maybe the Bucks.
I think the Nets.
Like Yeah,
Bucks, I could see the Bucks for sure. Actually,
yeah, because they don't
he's
have
kind of like a longer guard.
they don't have a ton of like playmakers, and like you said, he is a longer guard, so he can kind of like be more versatile, play anywhere one, two, three. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it is pretty interesting though. But yeah, if you want, we can move on to your Detroit Pistons, and they're kind of in, as I labeled it, Tank-A-Thon mode. They've lost,
Yeah.
I believe they've lost 8 straight at this point, probably going to be 9. And unlike the Celtics, they've been kind of the worst team in basketball lately. And ironically enough, as we said, like they're playing today. So tell me, like what's going on with the Pistons, and what do you think's going to come out of this season?
Out of this season, hopefully a top 3 pick, man. We need some more talent on this team. We definitely need some size on this team. I was a big fan of the Marvin Bagley trade. I feel like what we gave up wasn't much. I feel like Trey Lyles was a bit of a surprise for us this year, but at the same time, the players like him, and I would even say how you brought up Tyreke Evans and his last stint. I think with here he averaged almost at the 20 points that you were talking about. When you're a good player on a bad team, or like you're one of the better players on a bad team, like your numbers gonna be inflated a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean like it's just a bad team. You know what I'm saying? Like the Pistons are a bad team. It's like I don't think losing Lyles is too much of a hit. Man, GM Troy Weaver, I'm a big fan of him. Long time, it just felt like we were trying to go somewhere with a poop roster. And the owner Tom Gores felt like we had a chance, and we had like Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. It just wasn't enough. Like we would fight and scrap, claw our way in to be the 8th seed in the playoffs, just to be bounced out right away by the Bucks. It was like pointless to even be there. But this regime actually has like a game plan. I mean, he came out and said the other day, Troy Weaver, I believe, he was like, at this point, we're just looking to see like what these guys are going to be. He knows like we're not going to win this year. I mean, everyone knows. It's not like a big surprise, not a hot take. Like we're a terrible basketball team, bro. Like we're awful. He said like going on 8 straight almost like losses. It's rough, but I trust what he's been able to do because we're a smart market team as well, and we don't have any like big names coming here. That's why getting Cade Cunningham was a blessing, man. And you know me, I'll probably hit you with a question about him too at some point, but I'm not a big fan of Dwayne Casey. You know what I'm saying? But I like Troy Weaver, and I'm just hoping that we land one of those top 3 picks, man. Let's get one of those long fours that can stretch the floor, and I think Cade can run the pick and roll and do well with them, hopefully.
Yeah, I think honestly one of the biggest surprises in the NBA is how Dwayne Casey is still coaching the Pistons. Because
Thank
like
God, dude. I'm so happy you said that.
he came there after he won Coach of the Year. Everyone thought he transformed the Pistons, and that first year, in a way, he kind of transformed Blake Griffin. And the team was not bad, but ever since then, like this is what, year 4 now, and they haven't done really much over the past 2 seasons at least. I know maybe in 2020 they could have been a lot better if they were healthy, but I don't know. Like the last 2 years, it seems like they're in rebuild mode. I don't see why you still hang on to Dwayne Casey really. But I don't know. I think also like you said, I think the biggest objective, the biggest takeaway from this year is hopefully getting another top pick. Ideally, the number one pick again. You get Cade last year. Maybe this year you get like Jabari Bird or Pablo Banchero or something like that. Maybe that means you would trade Jeremy Grant. I don't know where you stand on that because I know a lot of people have been kind of targeting him a little bit. And I would say maybe draft a shooting guard, but also like you guys have had like some guys play pretty well. Sadiq Bey can play that role. Diallo has been nice from what I've seen. So I don't know. I think that's the biggest objective this year. I mean, they're still a pretty young team as well. Isaiah Stewart, I mean, you even mentioned him. But yeah, Saban Lee. So yeah, I think that this team they're not gonna do anything right now. Of course, they're in complete tank mode, and who knows? They could get lucky. I mean, we saw like with the Cavaliers about a decade ago when they got like the first pick 3 or 4 years. So I mean, I wouldn't think it's too surprising. Orlando too, who they're also near the bottom right now, but in like the 90s they got back-to-back first overall picks with Shaq and Chris Webber, and then they traded Chris Webber. But I think that who knows, like this could be another year where we see back-to-back first overall pick, and it could be your Detroit Pistons and I'm sure that would make you a pretty happy Pistons fan.
I gotta ask, man, like, who do you think would be that number one overall pick? Because I know for me, it's been a shuffle. I've been back and forth between Chet and Jabari.
Yeah, it's tough. For a while, Pablo was up there as number one too, but he's kind of fallen on
Yeah,
like the draft prospect board from what I've seen. I think right now, and we haven't even gotten to March Madness yet. That's probably where everything will like solidify itself. But probably Jabari Bird makes the most sense. Um, I just feel like they are going to trade Jeremy Grant. I don't know what purpose he serves on this team moving forward. It just seems like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like one of those. He's not even really that old, but he just doesn't fit the timeline of most of these players on the Pistons because he's kind of in his prime right now. Don't know how much of a higher ceiling he's going to get to, and he's kind of I feel like a role player who's being asked to do more than he should be, and he wants to have that role. I understand that. I've seen him say I want to be a first or second option on like whatever team I'm on, but I just don't
yeah,
know if it's like for the Pistons to be successful long term. I don't think they can invest in Jeremy Grant being that. He could be a role player for sure, like a fourth option or something like that, a 3-and-D
yeah.
guy, but I think eventually they're going to have to cut ties with him and they'll probably draft someone like Jabari Bird if that answers your question.
Yeah, no, and I'm cool with that too. Like a lot, big chunk of the fan base at this trade deadline were just want Jeremy gone so bad, and I get that he's not a number one option. Like the truth is what it is, but like this is why I like Troy Weaver. I think he's just so smart in like tactics because I think he almost brought Jeremy to be here to become a trade bait. 'Cause he feel like he would show something, and the fact too, like he kept him this year, yeah, but it's because he didn't get what he wanted. We still have him on a contract or for another year, next year, and don't forget, we had Luke Kennard and we turned that into Sadiq Bey, a guy who could shoot the ball almost just as well on a rookie contract instead of like re-signing Luke Kennard to something big. So it's like I think that's his plan. I think we may like Grant. We still have all of the offseason to move him, even up to the trade deadline. I think we may even see him be moved on draft night. I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, Troy Weaver's he's wheeling and dealing, and he's got his pieces here in Detroit that we just haven't seen in a long, long time. We were like one of the premier franchises there for a minute, going from '04 and on. But he's restored some faith in me, man. I'll be cool moving on from Grant as long as we get something comparable. I think for a while, like one of the rumors were like the Lakers were offering us freaking Horton Tucker. I'm like, dude, no, that's nowhere near as comparable. And like, yeah, we could take your first round pick, but it's like it's gonna be a poop one because you guys are gonna be in the playoffs. So, and just the thing too is like him waiting past his deadline, come draft night, he knows where everyone's first round pick is. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a guess of like where these guys are gonna land in the lottery or in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? He's for certain on like what he's getting back in that pick. And real quick, I gotta ask your opinion on Cade. I know Mobley's most likely gonna be rookie of the year. It's looking like Cade keeps going down to injury, but like, what have you thought of him so far as number one overall pick this year?
I mean, I've liked what I've seen. Of course, he got off to like a slow start, but I think lately he's been playing a lot better. And I've said this a few times, but I kind of see in Cade what people thought we were gonna get like from the jump from Markelle Fultz, and Markelle Fultz still even could become that player because he's still young and he hasn't really gotten that chance. But I think like what we saw out of Markelle Fultz in college and what we thought was going to progress like first year, second year in the NBA, I think that's what I thought was going to happen with Cade Cunningham. And so far, I mean, it kind of has a little bit. His jump shot has been pretty solid. Some games he's just been a little turnover heavy, but that's going to happen when you're a rookie. And I think he'll get better with that over time. But before the season, I picked him to be rookie of the year. Right now, you could probably argue like him, Giddey, Mobley, Franz Wagner, Scotty Barnes, but I'd probably say that Cade still has the best chance to win it at the end of the year, especially since rookie of the year, it's not really based on like your success unless it's like a really intense race like the one with Donovan Mitchell and Ben Simmons that one year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Cade will run away. Well, he won't run away with it, but I think he will win Rookie of the Year. And I think that he's still, at least from my opinion, I think that he still is like the best player in this draft class when it's all said and done.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to hear.
If you want though, we could talk about the buyout market and just a few names to watch. we won't spend, I guess, too much time on this, but is there anyone that catches your eye that some teams might be targeting that could be bought out?
So, Dennis Schroeder, however you want to say it in the German accent. I think I think he's a key piece. I mean, he was part of a championship run with the Lakers. So like, he obviously, been in those moments and, always take a step back to other superstars. Not that he's a superstar or anything like that, but I think that's a big one. Gary Harris, I think, could be huge. Like, if I'm Denver, I'm praying that one happens and you get him back because I truly feel like they had something special there for a minute. The year they went to the Western Conference Finals and Jamal Murray, he went down the following year, didn't he? Or in the playoffs?
He went down before the playoffs last year, and he's still out.
That's what
but
it was.
I mean, we'll see. He might come back, but yeah.
Yeah, but those two names, Goran Dragic. I mean, I think you'd love to see him reunite with the Heat. Maybe they could rekindle something there too. Like a lot of the names I was looking at, I really just want to see them go back to the teams they're successful with. Dragic, obviously Gary Harris, Schroeder. I mean, I see him going to the Lakers. Tristan Thompson might be one too. He'll go to the Lakers. John Wall. It's crazy because every single one of these names, and again, it's probably because, like you said, they weren't active at the deadline. But the names on the list that I wrote down, I can see all of them with the Lakers. They even had John Wall, Tristan Thompson, Schroeder, freaking Dragic. I can see him going there. Bazemore, I don't know where you think he's get bought out?
I think he might, and I even actually had him on here as like a potential person. But yeah, I think you kind of hit a lot of the ones I was targeting. I think also to add to that, the other two main ones I had probably Robin Lopez and Rodney Hood. So someone that could add shooting and Rodney Hood to a team, and then someone else who could add a post presence, probably some defense, and Robin Lopez. But I think, I ranked these. I had Schroeder as my second, and I had Gary Harris as my first on my list. When I made like an order, I picked like a top 5 or something.
Yeah.
But man, I think Gary Harris, as a Bulls fan, I'm always mad because we drafted him. We had him first, and then we traded him to Denver with Nurkic for Doug McDermott, and it still stinks to this day. Yeah.
That was the trade?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It was on draft night. We drafted Gary Harris and Nurkic, and we traded them both for Doug McDermott because McDermott was going off in college.
Oh my God! I thought I was sick over us trading Chris Middleton. That's way worse.
Yeah, it was not good. And people don't realize though that this guy is, first of all, he's a really good 3-point shooter. Especially over the past like 2 months. Early in the season, he was off to a bit of a struggle, but that was like a different rotation with Orlando. Now he's been getting an opportunity, and this dude looks like one of the best shooters in the league. If the team was better, he might have been in the 3-point contest. And then in terms of defensively, I think defensively he provides a lot. Like that series where Donovan Mitchell was going off against them. Like who'd they put on him in Game 7 to shut him down? Gary Harris. The series against the Clippers with Kawhi and Paul George. Who would they put on him when it mattered most? It was Gary Harris. Same thing with the series the year before. Remember when Lillard was going he was playing really bad against the Nuggets and CJ had to take over? That's because of Gary Harris. And I think that if you add him to any team, he's one of those players. I've said this about like Miles Turner as well. Like you could add him to almost any team and he's going to make them better. Like it doesn't matter. Like he can fit in just about anywhere. I think it's like portability is the exact word, but this dude can fit on any team, and I'd like him on my Bulls. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be really cool to see him go to an actual contender because I think that he still has a lot to show. But yeah, that's my Gary Harris soliloquy.
No, I want to add to that too because I'm here in Michigan. He's Michigan State grad, and like those guys are hard nosed, and they know basketball. Like Tom Izzo makes them run team ball, and he makes them play team ball. That's why you see him out there, looking for the open shot and playing hard nosed defense, much like Draymond Green and a lot of other guys that come out of Michigan State.
And
I love Gary Harris.
And maybe I also have some inside because I'm here in Indiana, and he was Mr. Indiana basketball, in I think like 2012 or something like that. So I don't know. I guess we both have the inside track on Gary Harris. But nah, if you want, we can move on to like All-Star Weekend predictions. I don't know if you want to just run through your picks for the events that you picked. We don't have to talk about all of them, but whatever you picked, let's see what you got.
I'll tell you what. Let's go by them. You give me yours, and I'll give you my winner from
Okay.
each event.
All right. So the celebrity game, I got Team Bill Walton beating Team Dominique Wilkins. Uh, and I don't know. I think Anderson Varejao is going to go off, but what do you think? You think that's fair, or you going to disagree?
Dude, I know who's playing in that game. If Anderson Varejão's in there, he's like one of the most competitive basketball players I remember like ever watching play. I remember him pissing off everybody, and his hair just freaking flowing everywhere. Like whatever team has that guy, I'm definitely taking them, picking them.
I mainly picked Team Walton because I think Team Dominique Wilkins had Tiffany Haddish on there, and I just I just didn't want to. I don't know why.
Wow, that's sexist, bro. No, I was playing.
Yeah, I'm the worst. Rising Stars. There's 4 teams this year. It's weird. I had Team Gary Payton winning with Scotty Barnes maybe being like an MVP or something. But what do you think?
And whatever team has Cade Cunningham, we get the dub. All right, my man plays team ball, 2 to 3 if he wants to. Like he's gonna take over, man.
I think that might be Team Worthy. I don't even remember them off the top of my head, because it's just something so quick. But I guess the Saturday events. What are you rolling with? Or I guess I'll tell you mine first. So for the skills challenge, there's the rookie team, the Cavs team, and the Antetokounmpos. I think the Antetokounmpos are gonna pull it off. The 3-point contest. This is the only thing I'm gonna keep the same from when I made my predictions like a few weeks ago. I'm going to go with Fred VanVleet. I still think he's going to win it. And then dunk contest, I got Juan Toscano Anderson. But what do you got for All-Star Saturday?
And it's got to be. I didn't do it yet last year.
Yes, he did. And he's doing it again, I guess.
I have to go with Toppin or Green. As much as I don't like Jalen Green because he talked about Detroit and because he was. I'm sorry if you're not allowed to swear in here, but there's the crap he was talking about Detroit when he didn't get drafted here. He was a sore loser. I think he's phenomenal. Like as far as like highlights go, like that guy, he's fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie. When he's on, he hasn't been that great this year, but Toppin or Green, give me that. And then for the 3-point contest, Luke Kennard. Give me Luke Kennard.
I can respect that. And for the skills challenge, you got Giannis and his brothers, the rookies, or the Cavs. I'm assuming you're picking the rookies because Cade Cunningham, but
I was gonna say, yeah, give me my boy Cade. I'll be a homer for that one.
Okay, and then for the All-Star game, what team do you have winning, and do you have an MVP that you think might take it home?
I'm gonna be a nerd here real quick, and I do want to like look at the teams. I feel like the guys who are like their first All-Star game, I feel like they're always like super hungry, and they just what I'm saying it, and they end up winning the MVP. But I'm gonna go. Ja's my MVP. For the winning team, I might have to take KD. How are you stopping Giannis and Embiid, man?
Yeah, that's true. I think I'm gonna go with Team LeBron. They're 4-0 in his time as a captain, so they'll probably be 5-0. Is my take, and my MVP. It's gonna be biased, but I'm going with DeMar DeRozan. I think that he's just gonna. He hasn't been in the All-Star game for about 4 years, ever since he was with Toronto. So I think he's hungry as well, and he probably wants to make a statement. But yeah, that's just what I got. I don't know. What do you think about that? You think that could happen?
I don't know about DeRozan, but I'm with you on Team LeBron. LeBron's seemingly been a good GM until the Russell Westbrook trade. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's probably put a pretty good damn team together.
Yeah. But if you want, we could move on to the NBA trivia. Now, if you want, I'll explain.
Nervous, man.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. If you want, I'll explain the rules, though, to you and anyone watching. So basically, I'm going to have 5 questions presented to you, and each one has 5 hints. Now, among those 5 hints, you get 3 guesses and 2 skips for each question. So if you guess it right in less hints, you get more points. So say you use 1 hint and you get it right, 5 points, 2 hints, 4 points. Then it goes from there. So that would make 25 possible points. At the very end, though, there's just one question about me. There's no hints on that. It's just like an all or nothing. And if you get that right too, it's another 5 points. So, are you ready for the trivia?
I feel like if I get the question about you right, I should get like 25 points.
I I might have to rework that because no one's actually gotten the bonus yet. So maybe
Yeah,
I
it's a
will
tough
in the
one.
future. But I
Or
don't
like
know.
10 points or something.
But yeah. All
Real
right.
quick, what's the
So
high score?
the high score, I believe it is 12, which doesn't seem like a lot. Some of this is hard trivia, but it's not too hard that
Yeah, I'm nervous.
you should get some points. But here we go. Okay, so the first question and the first hint. Now again, you get 3 guesses and 2 skips on each question. So
Okay.
this first question, it's about something. It refers to a type of shot that players generally perform outside of the paint. Now, I will remind you, this could be
Shot.
a past player. Oh, wait, did you guess a hook shot?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is not a hook shot. So that's strike number 1. And I will remind you, it could be a current NBA player, a past NBA player, a move, a coach, anything. But yeah, so that's strike number 1. You still get 2 more guesses and 2 more skips. But the second
So
hint. Oh, wait, go
okay.
ahead. My bad. You were going to ask something.
No, I'm ready for the second hint.
Okay, so the second hint, and you might get it after this one. The most popular recent NBA player to perfect this shot was Tim Duncan. So when you
Floater?
are you guessing the floater here? Chance of 4 points?
It's wrong. I can already tell it's wrong.
Well, I haven't let you guess it yet. You could guess if you want, or you could skip. You do have 2 skips left.
Dude, I might have to. I don't want to say floater now either. Is it named after anybody, or is that am I asking too much information right there?
It's not named after anyone, but I guess so. When you think of Tim Duncan, I guess what do you think of like with his shot in particular?
A bank shot?
Are you guessing bank shot here?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess bank shot.
It's a good thing you did because you got it right.
All right, good.
So that's a 4-pointer. That one was probably the easier of the 5, which that's pretty good. Now it's gonna start getting tougher. But we'll see. I think you should still do pretty fine.
Okay.
So here's the second question, the first hint. Now, this is a current NBA player who lives in a mansion that was previously owned by Michael Jordan's ex-wife.
Oh man, I'm not gonna. Klay Thompson.
You gonna guess Clay here? Now, I want to remind you, you do still have skips available. You could use 2 skips.
Okay.
I just don't want you to like guess on everyone and then like you miss out on, if you knew it later.
Points, yeah. All right, let's skip that one. That one seems like really hard.
Okay, so the second hint is this guy lost the 2010 slam dunk contest to Nate Robinson by a 51-49 vote from the fans in the final round. So he was like that close.
DeRozan? Oh, DeRozan won.
Are you guessing DeRozan here?
I get 3 guesses on each question, right?
Correct. You do. So you could use one here, or you do have another skip if you want.
Okay. I use one of my guesses. Is DeRozan?
It is DeRozan. That's pretty good. That was a big
I was almost gonna skip too, man.
Yeah, that was a big time one. I wasn't trying to sell or anything. I thought the hint about Michael Jordan's ex-wife was a pretty interesting one. But it does make sense because he is in Chicago now. But yeah.
Yeah, I would have never guessed off that one. Wait, so I get 5 points for that one or 4?
You get 4 points for that, and you got 4 for the first one. So you got 8 points already.
Okay.
And I always tell my guests to try and get at least 10. And I think you'll probably get at least 10, I will say. But we'll see. So here's the third question. The first hint is this is a former NBA player that was teammates with guys such as Tracy McGrady, Kevin Garnett, and Chris Paul over the course of his career.
Mm.
Not all at the same time, obviously, but at different times in his career.
Yeah, Kevin Garnett. Can I have the second hint?
Yes. All right. So the second hint is this guy made it to the conference finals 7 straight years.
His teammates with Garnett, Chris Paul, and who else?
Tracy McGrady. Yeah, Tracy McGrady.
Okay. Tracy did play for the Pistons for a little bit. I know the Pistons went to 6 conference finals straight. All right. I'm just gonna give one of my guesses. Is it James Jones?
It is not James Jones.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's strike number 1.
Okay.
All right, so here's the 3-point hint. This dude is the only player in NBA history with a winning record against all of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James.
Well, I'd ask another question or no?
Depends. I could see how much I can answer.
Chauncey Billups?
Are you guessing Chauncey Billups here?
I'm gonna guess Chauncey. It has to be a Piston, right? Or a Piston or Miami Heat. Yeah, Chauncey Billups.
You are on fire right now because it is Chauncey Billups.
Dude. Oh yeah, because you said the only thing though is I just didn't know for sure. When did he play with Shaq?
With Shaq? No, I didn't say Shaq. I said Chris Paul. That was with the Clippers later on. With
Chris Paul, Kevin Garnett.
Garnett in Minnesota, and then T-Mac. Oh, T-Mac. If I don't know.
Oh,
If
I thought it was
T-Mac. He played
Yeah,
with
because
him.
he was in Detroit for a little bit.
I actually wasn't even thinking of that.
I'm sorry. Go. That's what you were saying.
No, you're fine. I actually when I made this, I was thinking more of when they played in Toronto, early in his career, because they did there as well. And when you said that, when you were guessing, I was like, oh, that's right, they did play in Detroit too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When you said 7 conference finals, I knew it had to be a Piston or I was thinking possibly someone who was on the Pistons and then Miami, but there wasn't no one there. That was honestly complete luck though. Fuck.
So you got 11. You're going crazy right now, and you still got 2 more questions, and then the bonus. So we'll see. We'll see how you do. So the 4th question. Now this one might be really hard, but we'll see how you do. 4th question. First hint. This NBA team originally drafted Dominique Wilkins in 1982.
Hawks.
It is not the Hawks. So that's strike number 1. The second hint is Elgin Baylor. The late great Elgin Baylor served multiple stints in the past as a head coach for this franchise.
Bucks.
It is not the Bucks. So that's strike number 2. Might want to play it safe now, but we'll see unless you really know it. So here's the 3rd hint. Chance of 3 points still. Both of their NBA All-Stars selected this season were drafted by the Denver Nuggets.
Say that question one more. So this is the same question or is this a new question?
This is the same question.
Okay.
This is a 3-point hint. So both of their NBA All-Stars selected this season were drafted by the Denver Nuggets. So they had multiple guys make the All-Star team this year. Both of those guys were drafted by Denver.
So this guy was coached by Elgin Baylor.
Well, no, it's a team. It's a team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they have 2 All-Stars that were drafted by the Nuggets?
Both of them were, yes.
Trailblazers.
Are you guessing Trailblazers? This is your final guess on this question if you want to use it.
Can I skip? Can I skip this question?
You can skip. You do have 2 more skips left on this question.
Let's skip this one.
Okay, so the 4th hint is this team was originally based in New Orleans.
Oh, the Jazz.
It is the Jazz. And that gives you 13 points, which I believe that's the highest.
Let's go!
But you're not even done because you might be able to add to it. So we'll see. You got a whole nother question, and then, like I said, the bonus. We'll see if you can break history on the bonus too, because no one's gotten that. But all right.
That's crazy. I just found that out about the Jazz too, because I was like, yo, why are they called the Jazz, and how did Utah even get a team? Like,
it's like so random. It was something where it's like they had to move because the owner or something. I don't know, but now it makes no sense. Like the old way with New Orleans Jazz, but now it just doesn't. But yeah.
Let's go.
So the fifth question now, and the first hint is this is a former NBA player who has the second highest average win share per 48 rating in NBA history, only behind Michael Jordan.
LeBron James.
Okay, I won't count it against you as a guess right now because I did say it's a former NBA player.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I felt like that would have been unfair if
He has the second highest win
share per 48. So like per 48 minutes. Yeah.
Kareem?
It is not Kareem. So that's strike number one. The second hint is this guy put up the second highest season finale scoring performance in NBA history. Not the top, but the second highest. And you do have 2 skips still on this question. You do also have 2 more guesses.
Second most points in a season finale. Kobe?
You kind of cut out. Did you guess Kobe there?
Yes.
Unfortunately, it is not Kobe. So that's strike number 2. You do have 1 more guess available and then also 2 more skips. But the third hint, chance at 3 points. This guy was the first overall pick in the same draft class with players such as Scottie Pippen and Reggie Miller.
Now, if I skip, it skips the question or skips to like another hint?
It skips to another hint. It's just you'd get 1 less possible point. But if you guess and get wrong here, you'd get 0 on the question. So.
Okay, let me get another skip.
Okay, so the fourth hint is this guy is one of 5 players in NBA history to win both an MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year throughout his career.
All right, I'm doing another skip since I got him.
Okay, so the final hint is although this guy won multiple championships later in his career, he was not the Finals MVP on either of them. League MVP, Defensive Player of the Year as well, but no Finals MVP and 2 titles.
Same draft class as Scottie Pippen. That's a while back, bro. I don't.
That is ancient history.
Yeah. And I don't know that draft class, man. Kevin Johnson.
Unfortunately, it is not Kevin Johnson. And that's strike number 3 is also the last one. But the correct answer was actually David Robinson. Yeah.
That's crazy. He never won a Finals MVP.
Yeah, because, both those years it was Duncan when he came along.
Yeah.
So
his rookie year, one of them, too.
Yeah, or second year in the lockout season. But yeah.
Okay.
So right now you're sitting atop of the leaderboard, and you still could add to it with this bonus question. And I think just because I don't think you'll get it right because it's so random, if you get it right, I'll let you pick how many points the bonus question is worth. So how about that? Are you ready?
All right, deal. Yes.
All right, so the bonus question, and you get no hints on this. It's just shot in the dark, kind of. What NBA player, past or present, once gave me a handshake as he walked through the arena tunnel at an NBA? It could be anybody.
Yeah, literally, it could be anyone. There's no hints on this one.
No hints. It's just completely random. So pick an NBA player you like and put him out there, I guess.
DeRozan.
It's a solid guess, but it is not DeMar DeRozan. The correct answer is actually Torrey Craig, which was going to be impossible to guess.
Dude, what?
That's why I say it is the impossible level question. Weirdly enough, I saw him at a Pacers game when he was on the Nuggets, and then he went to the Pacers, and now he's on the Suns for the second time. So I felt like now was the good time to do it because now he's off the Pacers. But yeah, I wouldn't kind of give it too much away.
Who would ever guess friggin' Torrey Craig?
Hey, you never know. Someone might just have it ready. But I don't know. I think obviously you did pretty good. Right now you're sitting atop of the leaderboard, so I'm sure you're happy with that. We'll have to see if anyone in the future could break it, at least for this season. You know, season's winding down now. We're at All-Star break, so I mean, I would feel pretty confident that might stand throughout the rest of the season.
No big deal, no big deal. I'd like to thank my mom for birthing me, my dad for making love to her and making me. Not playing. Whoever, if someone ever ties me, I want a one-on-one. I want that 1v1 action.
Okay, and that, you know what? We might actually have to do that. We'll have like a final episode with if there's a tie or something like that, with if you or someone else's tie with you, or if two people get better than that score. We'll have to see. That's actually a good idea. But yeah, and I mean, hopefully you had fun on the show, and hopefully you guys watching at home enjoyed this week's episode. But before we go, I'm gonna give you the spotlight. You got any final thoughts?
Man, just pray for my Pistons. You know what I'm saying? Give me your thoughts and prayers. I know you're a Bulls fan. But, we've been down for a minute, you know what I'm saying? So just keep us in your prayers. I want to congratulate you on your Bulls, by the way, too. I think they look phenomenal and healthy this year. Those three studs you guys got. And then even Caruso, when he comes back, too. Like, what a piece to have there. But, yeah, man, just make sure you guys want to check out my content. It's at Speakeasy Sports. And I actually have a new podcast, too, called Woodward Heavyweights. I got to remember to start saying that correctly. But thanks for having me on, man. I really did enjoy my time.
For sure, man. And I'll have down there, check description. I'll have his stuff, so you guys will be sure not to miss out on following him as well. But yeah, I mean, I feel you for your Pistons. I will be rooting for them as long as they're not playing my Chicago Bulls. Maybe I'll be rooting for them to lose because I'm sure you want that number one pick this season.
Yeah.
And potentially after today, the day we're recording, the Bulls play the Kings. They might be back in the number one overall seed in the East. So hopefully,
you
can be on the
they might come out of the East this year, man. I think they'll come out of the East this year.
Hopefully, man. At the end of today, though, we could be looking at my team is at the top and your team's at the bottom. Both
all right, positions. Man. Let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah, we better so you're not too much in your feels. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and we're out. Peace.